We've done a lot of work to our Roamin Gladiator project lately, but it's still got something missing. Our Gladiator has a little bit of horsepower, it's got the right stance and aggressive attitude too. But our Roamin Gladiator is still missing a couple pieces to complete its suit of armor. Our goal is to fix that in this video by installing Artec's Alpha Series full belly skid system, and we're gonna need it for rocks, ruts, and all the twisted trails we're gonna be encountering this summer. The Alpha Series belly pan kit will keep our Gladiator well protected. The system is made from 1/4 inch thick 6061 T6 heat treated aluminum and comes with 3/16 inch steel zinc plated brackets. It's precision CNC cut to seamlessly integrate with components underneath our Gladiator, and the best part is it's lightweight, it's rust resistant, and will provide full coverage. It's a really cool skid plate system too because it's not an overlapping system. Everything kind of fits together and it will slick body our Gladiator in a sense. So we're not gonna have to worry about getting caught on rocks and roots and stuff. It's one continuous skid plate underneath all of our very important components. Now the question you're asking yourself right now is how complicated is this installation? You saw us put one on our JL and we're gonna show you how to put one on our Gladiator right now. So let's jump into it and get to work. So now we're almost ready to start installing new parts. And you know, we just did a time-lapse disassembly. We didn't want to bore you guys with that. It's very self-explanatory and Artec has great instructions on this kit. I highly recommend checking them out to see the procedure you need to pull the bolts out in. But we got all the OEM components off. We got the gas tank skid removed and we have our new gas tank strap in and installed. Now it's time to start installing new parts. So the next thing to install is the front cross member here. And then from there, we're gonna start putting skid plate components on. Yeah, now that the tank's in place and kind of safe, we're gonna grab the cross member and get that installed. Our next order of business is to get the transfer case skid loosely installed. Then I need to mark and drill the hole over here in the frame. Then we're gonna pull it back off, drill the hole, and then bolt it into place for hopefully the last time. So yeah, this is going good. This is it's a really easy install, and like I had said earlier, the Artec instructions are awesome. It makes this super easy, and yeah, this is going well. You know, it makes it nicer that we have a little extra help and a lift, but you could definitely do this on the floor in your driveway. You know, 2 people makes it nice, but this is definitely could be a 1-person job if you're rambunctious enough. So yeah, let's get that into place and then get the hole marked. We have our hole drilled here, and one of the tips I have is they want you to drill this to 3/8. I actually went 2 sizes up from 3/8 in the drill index, just so we had a little bit of wiggle room. But this is our mounting bracket for our hole here, and you just insert this through this frame rail hole side here, and then you'll line that up. And then just kind of hold that as you install everything. But yeah, with the hole drilled, now we're ready to put our skid plate on. So we're gonna grab our skid plate, get that in place. And just because I do like a little preventative maintenance, I'm gonna put some never sees on the hardware just in case I have to ever pull any of this off, like to maintenance my transfer case or anything like that. So just thinking ahead here, guys. Next, we're gonna install the flag for the fuel tank mount, and it just goes right here, and it only goes on one way, the holes line up. So we're just gonna loosely install this, and then next is the fuel tank skid plate. This is loosely bolted in place. It's time for the rear skid plate mounts for the fuel tank, and we're reusing stock hardware to bolt these loosely in place. And I'm just gonna leave this loose like this so we can get it over the skid plate bolts in the back. Now I'm gonna go ahead and get the other mount installed, and it's gonna install in this bolt hole here and just hang loosely. Before we put this into place, we need to install our rear carriage bolts. And the way we're gonna do this is insert them in the square holes, and then we're gonna grab some tape. Actually, what I have here, take my glove off for this. I need some fingernails. Take some tape. We're gonna tape these in place. That way, when we're shaking this thing around, the bolts don't fall out. So we're gonna grab this provided flag and then feed it through the frame rail here, then put this bolt through the hole. Now before I fully tighten this one, I'm just gonna leave it loose and install the other 40mm bolts in the outside here. With those installed on the outside, I'm gonna come to the inside here and install these couple bolts. Now this is why I left all this stuff loose. I'm able to kind of reach on the top and kind of just manipulate everything into place. We have our spacer here. I'm just gonna slide that into place. And we have our bolt and machine washer. And it's crazy just to say, this is like the lowest point on the skid plate is this bolt right here. So as long as we don't catch this bolt or anything, we should be fine. So with this bolt installed, all our hardware is in our skid plate, and just like the transfer case skid plate, we're gonna leave this loose, and the last thing we're gonna do is tighten all the hardware. Now it's time to move to the front and get the engine skid plate installed. And that's kind of one of the things I think is the coolest part about this kit is the engine skid plate, because, and it has a really baby little steel oil pan. It's actually right here. So we really want to protect this from hitting this on anything. Also the transmission pan and the transmission cooler lines. The next thing that needs to happen is we need to mount our front engine skid plate mounts, and they're gonna mount off these. There's a bolt on each side of the engine mount. So this is the one on the passenger side, and there's another one on the driver's side over here. So they're 13mm, and to get to these, because our Jeep's in the air, I'm gonna use my Astro Pneumatics nano ratchet. This thing is actually like perfect for this job. So I know you guys like to see our victories, but I'm gonna show you our failures and victories too. When I was pulling out the engine mount bolts, one got weird on me. So like it felt like something was stacking up in the thread. So I went to go run it back in, and the head snapped off it. And the deal is it's a through bolt hole, so I'm able to see the back of the stud. So I kind of gathered myself a little bit and prepared a couple solutions, and I actually grabbed my Gearwrench Bolt Biter extraction sockets and pound one of these sockets on the stud that was hanging out and actually back it out and get it out. So I didn't have to drill it, I didn't have to tap it. These things worked awesome. The cool part about these is they're bi-directional. So unlike a traditional extractor socket where you only can go out, these have like straight fluting that's tapered, and you're able to pound it on and then go either direction. So I was able to work it out. So my advice to you guys is to heat these bolts, hit them with some penetrating oil, and get the Loctite deactivated and kind of broke up in there, and just be very, pull these out very gingerly. Be very cautious. But if you do snap one off, you grab your Gearwrench bolt biters and get it right out. Again, big victory. You know, a one bolt can take a 30-minute job into a 3-hour one. We've all been there. So next order of business. Thankfully, we don't have to reuse this bolt. We actually replaced this hardware on this side and reuse the factory bolt on the other, so we can hang our down brackets for our skid plate. So that's what we're gonna do next. We're gonna get our new hardware installed, get our hanging brackets done, and continue on. We're really close to getting this finished up, and I'm very excited. So let's get to it. We're gonna install our passenger side skid plate bracket now that we have our stud hanging out the bottom. I'm just gonna get that into place. So this one hangs on the bottom, the other side actually goes on the top. So we're gonna get that installed next. So if things look a little different, there's a good reason. When I broke the bolt off, I got really nervous and just started tearing this thing apart. So I tore the front wheels off it and the inner fender wells out. And I decided to leave them off because it's just a little bit easier for you guys to see what we're doing. but next order of business is to install the skid plate mount on the driver's side, and it actually bolts on top of the mount. So I'm gonna have Mike put that in place, and then I'm gonna put the bolt in and loosely tighten it up. It is now time to install our engine skid plate, and that bolt's right here. So we're gonna put 2 bolts here, and then it has 4 bolts that go up here. So we're gonna hoist this into place, get the back 2 bolts started, and then put the front ones in. So the next step is to loosen. I had this kind of pulled up tight when I was doing the fronts. I'm gonna loosen this enough to where I can get to these bolt holes here. So I'm literally just gonna run it out until, yeah, I can get to them. So from there, there's 2 loops that install over the exhaust here, and that's just gonna give the skid plate some rigidity. So if we do hit it on a rock or that, it's not gonna bend this thing and kink it and put it into a weird spot. So we have our steel U brackets here. We're just gonna get these into place. Get that one started. Go ahead and get this one started. So before I put this up into place, I am gonna go ahead and tighten these 2 bolts, because once it's in place, I can't get to them. So these are the first 4 bolts technically we're gonna tighten, but we tighten these 2 and then these. So now that we got the stiffener installed on this side, we can go ahead and put the skid plate back up into place and install the other side. Just like the other side, I'm just gonna put the loop into place. And with that, we're actually done installing parts, and it's time for our final step, which is tightening all the bolts. Now I'm gonna work from the back of the Jeep forward and get everything nice and snug. Now it's important to note that about after 500 miles of driving or a couple off-road trips, you're gonna wanna crawl under here and recheck all the hardware, make sure nothing came loose. But yeah, everything's installed, and man, this just looks awesome. But yeah, let's go ahead and get all the bolts tightened. So to do that, I need a 9/16 wrench and a 7/32 Allen. That's what most of these bolts are. So let's go through and get it done. And just like that, this install is complete, and these Alpha Series skid plates are looking awesome. But like I said earlier, a little food for thought is to about after 500 miles or your first wheeling trip, you're gonna wanna get under your Jeep and recheck all your hardware. That's certainly something we're gonna do, but the true test is just gonna be getting this thing out in the woods and putting these to the rocks. So until next time, I'm Justin with Summit Racing, and the golden question is, what are you wheeling?